Today is all about strategy games, not just a big sale on strategy games, which we do have. We also have new stuff that has been announced, a bunch of new stuff that was announced just today by Slitherine. Slitherine, if you don't know, are a war game and strategy game company, but they've been doing it for a long time. They made games like Distant Worlds, Field of Glory, to name a couple. And they had a big announcement today with all the new stuff that's coming out in the next few months. They're also sponsoring today. Thank you, Slitherine, for doing that. Let's talk about some strategy games. First up, we have Distant Worlds 2. This is on sale. We'll start with a big sale today, and one of my favorites. This is a big open space empire game, a massive space empire game, where it is very, very complex, and you can make it simple, but it's a very complex, deep strategy game if you want a space empire. Came out back in 2022, and it is on sale for 65% off right now for $17.49. As part of this big event that they had today, they announced a new DLC called Shadows Rising, and that is supposed to be coming out here in October, and it allows you to play as pirates. Oh man, I want it. You can play as a pirate faction, you can play as just a pirate base, or you can play as an individual pirate ship in this big dynamic universe that Distant Worlds is, and I will certainly be playing it, but they announced that today. Also, I want to make sure and point out Distant Worlds Universe, which is Distant Worlds 1 essentially, came out back in 2014, and it is dirt cheap today. It is down at 90% off for $3 if you want a cheap, very good space empire game that still has a fantastic modding scene. Space Station Designer was announced today as, well, not much to say about this one because the name kind of tells you what you're doing. You are a private aerospace company building a space station, but actually you're doing more than one space station. You will eventually build more space stations and explore space and all the logistics and management that goes along with that. And this has a release date for November 18th of this year. They also announced Warhammer Blood Bowl is now being published by Slitherine, so it's be coming out later this year. This is that sort of, you take football versus football in the Warhammer universe. I suppose that's a good way of summing that one up. If you know what Blood Bowl is, and you know what you're getting into here. But they announced that they are now doing that this year. Veil of Ashes is also a new one that was announced. This is a real-time strategy game set in this sort of like alternate World War era. But alternate is heavy emphasis on alternate. Real-time strategy game by Greifenmeyer, and of course Slitherine publishing this one. And this one just got announced today. If you're into that top-down-ish, isometric-ish real-time tactics game, and there you go, Veil of Ashes. Radio Commander is a game that came out back in 2019, and Radio Commander Vietnam, which is one where it has you like you're the radio commander. You know, you got troops out in the field, and you can't actually actively see the field. You just have to react to what you hear is going on, what your scouts are telling you. It came out back in 2019, and it is sitting right now at 75% off for $5. As part of this deal, they've also talked about Radio Commander Pacific 41, which is supposed to be coming out very soon, which takes place island hopping out in the Pacific as the Americans. And they also announced a Radio Commander Battle of Britain set in 1940. And so this is, you were the British, and you're trying to fight off the Luftwaffe coming over the over the channel and deploy your fighters and defenses and whatever to keep them away. That's the new one that was just announced today. Speaking of World War II, let's stay in the same era here. We got Panzer Corps 2, which is on sale. As with basically all of these, came out in 2020. It's got a bunch of updates that has come out with this one. We got a new update with this as well. This is your hex-based, turn-based tactics, kind of your classic, Panzer Corps, classic turn-based tactics game set in World War II, and it is on sale right now for 60% off, puts it at $15.99. The new update is called Elite All-American, which was one they just announced, which I don't need to tell you what it's about. It pretty much tells you what it's about. It just came out here on the 22nd for $5 for this DLC. Terminator Dark Fate Defiance is an RTS, but set in, of course, the Terminator universe. And I've played a bit of this on the channel. Of course, I'll have links to all this stuff down below if you want to see extra videos on this. I'm going kind of fast because there's a bunch that's been announced today. But I'll have links to all that stuff if you want to watch some gameplay on these. But this is Real-Time Tactics strategy war game that came out back in 2024, and it's on sale for 40% off right now for $24. And as with basically all these, they have announced a new DLC with it, which is Dark Fate Evolution is what they're calling this DLC. And I'll have links down there for you can check that out. So if you're into Terminator, you can see what's going on with that. They also announced that they have teamed up and they are developing a Memoir 44 game based on the tabletop game. Memoir 44 is a pretty famous tabletop war game where you control units set in World War II, and each unit is on a hex basically running around the map. And they are developing a computer game based on Memoir 44. And in that same vein, they also announced Bolt Action, which is the same kind of thing. It is a World War II strategy-inspired tabletop classic by Warlord Games. Came out a long time ago, and they are developing that, which they have a Steam page for that one, and you can see some screenshots. I'll show you what I have got visual-wise for this one. But you know, it looks like you're playing on a tabletop in this turn-based tactical. I was going to say hex-based, but it's actually square-based tactics. Nightmare Frontier, which has been in development for a little while. I played it a long time ago. I just played it on a stream as well. It just hit 1.0 here on the 22nd of July. This is a turn-based tactics strategy game with like nightmares and freaky monsters and pushing folks around is basically the name of the game here. It is out in 1.0 right now. There's a link and you can check out the Steam page for that one. ICBM is a grand RTS where you command armies and basically just drop a bunch of bombs. This sort of world map view, this sort of zoomed way out. You can send fleets around and armies around, but mostly you're dropping a bunch of bombs on everybody. And it came out back in 2024. It's a lot of fun if you want to just blow stuff up. It's 30% off right now for $29.99. But as with all of these, we have an update. DLC of Assassin's Mace is just been announced for this one, which puts you in, I think it's in China. Yeah, China is where this one places the emphasis. Warhammer Battlesector is, I just did a video on it. This is turn-based tactics set in the Warhammer 40K universe. It's also on sale today. It is sitting at 70% off for $12 on this one. Plus, of course, all the DLC. There's a bunch of DLC with this one. If you want to add more factions into the game, that is there for you. So when I think of Slitherine, there's a couple games that come to mind, and that is something like, well, Distant Worlds, of course. Field of Glory is another big one that comes to mind. I love this game by Byzantine Games and published by Slitherine, and it is on sale. Came out in 2017, a little while ago. You are marching ancient armies around like Carthage and Rome and Gaul and all the tribes, and it is at 80% off right now, $6. Speaking of Field of Glory, we have Field of Glory 2 Medieval, which is same idea. But, yeah, medieval. This is from 1040 to 1270, as you are not sending Romans out anymore, but you're sending out knights and longbows and stuff like that. And this one also is 80% off at $5.99. Fantasy General 2 is kind of your classic fantasy wargaming. You think if you want to simple it down to like a Civ fantasy style, sort of. It's a very simplistic way of explaining it, but you get the idea. Turn-based strategy, fantasy, 4X strategy game that came out back in 2019, and it is very cheap right now, 80% off for $8. And we've got Master of Magic. Slitherine bought the rights to Master of Magic, and they made the new Master of Magic back in 2022, and that is on sale as well for 60% off. It's $15.99. Speaking of Master of Magic, one of the best games ever made, the original one, came out back in 1994, is also here on Steam, and it is $3. You can also get it with Caster of Magic, which is sort of like they like bundled up all the community-made mods and packaged it into a complete bundle. That's also in there as well. Caster of Magic, I think, is like $1.50, $2, $3, somewhere in there to add Caster of Magic into that, which I would definitely recommend. So that's all the sales. We did have a couple more announcements, though. Battle Plan, which is a sort of like top-down, but like it's like a zoomed-out RTS where you drawing the battle lines in this real-time strategy game set in World War II. I've played this before, played a demo of it before, and it is supposed to be coming out here in Q3 of this year. But set in World War II. I think it starts out with D-Day, I think is where the main campaign begins. And you're like drawing your battle line, throwing where your bombers go, and the sort of zoomed out RTS, I think, best sums it up. And the last one on the list, which is one I'm really looking forward to, and that is Stormbinders, which is this turn-based strategy game, highly inspired by Heroes of Might and Magic, and you can just see that looking at the screenshots here, where you are, you get yourself a leader, you hire some units, you run around the map, you pick up some resources, you build up your base, and you storm across the map in this sort of turn-based strategy game, classic turn-based strategy game by Destructive Creations being developed. We just have a coming soon on this one. I don't have anything else as far as a date, but I'm looking forward to that one quite a bit. I'm also looking forward to being a pirate in Distant Worlds. Anyway, there is your strategy games Slitherine Fest, Slitherine Next announcement video. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Slitherine, for sponsoring today, and I hope you have a good one.